So thanks for having me today. And I was doing great when I got here, except for being way too tired because I'm not a super early in the morning person, and this is a couple days in a row that I've been up way too early. So if I stumble over some words, you guys will have to excuse me. And I'm also now nervous because I sat there and listened to all you guys talk about what you do, and you are so polished and powerful and great women, and so now I'm like, man, I'm nervous. I really have to say something that is going to make some sense, and people are going to have to be excited when they leave here, or else this is not going to be good. So I'm going to start off with some questions just to kind of get a feel for where you guys are. How many of you are already using social media in your businesses or in your to market to your groups and different things? Are you using Facebook or anybody? Okay, good number of people. And how many of you think you're getting the results that you want to get, or how many are actually seeing results? Are you seeing some success from it? Just shake your head, nod your head, or raise your hand. Okay, not yet. All right. So, all right, that gives me a place to start from. So, just to kind of get an idea of where I'm going to go today, I'm not going to get too much into the technical aspects of how to post and different things like that. I really want to focus on the strategy behind it and what you can get from social media and how you should be using it and how you should be thinking about social media in general. Because, in all honesty, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Flickr, all of those different things, they're great. They're tools that help you convey your message. You know, you shouldn't look at them as they're the end of it. Oh, I know how to use Facebook. I know everything there is to know. No, you use Facebook because you want to reach the people that are on Facebook from a business perspective. That's why you'd be using it. Or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is mainly focused on business people. It's, you know, resumes for business and social networking based around business. So you want to use those tools to help you achieve your goals. So when it comes to social media, you hear a lot of people saying, well, they don't get social media. They just don't get it. And I want to make sure today that we all get it. When we leave here, if there's nothing else that we accomplish, we all need to get it. So what does that mean? For the average person who's using social media that just gets on, you know, I'm thinking about Facebook right now. I get on and talk to family members, look at photos from friends, connect with people from high school. That's generally how the average person is using Facebook. And then in Twitter, you're making posts that are very short, almost text message length posts. And you're posting there. You really are just kind of conversing with friends and sharing articles, sharing blog articles and different things. But it's a very kind of simple thing. So when you say a regular person, just the average person, when they don't get it, it's because they're going on Twitter and posting things like, I just ate a hamburger. Now, who wants to read, I just ate a hamburger? How is that, you know, what value is there in you just saying, I just ate a hamburger? Now, if you just said, I ate a great hamburger at this restaurant, now we have something, you know, because you shared some information that I can now use, and now when I know when I want a hamburger, I can go check out the place that you told me to go check out. And if you add a photo to it, and you put that right in line, now it's even more valuable. I can see the hamburger that you ate, and I know you ate a great hamburger at this restaurant. So getting it for the average person is just realizing that it's not just, nobody really cares what you did. They want to know how you did, how what you did relates to them as a person. So you want to create social dialogue where we can talk back and forth, and we both get something out of it. You know, if you're a music star, maybe I do want to know you just went to or you just ate a hamburger. Maybe I care. But for the average person who doesn't have 1 million followers that just want to know their every little detail of our life, you really have to think about what value are you putting out there. Now, from a marketing perspective, I'm a marketer. When marketers get it, you're talking about a whole different thing. When many of you will need to hire somebody, or if you yourself aren't doing the social media task, you'll need to hire somebody who's doing the social media task, and that's what I'm talking about here, to make sure they get it. Now, what does that really mean? When they get it, they understand those basic fundamentals about how to use social media, how to use Facebook, how to use Twitter, and how not to be posting, I just ate a hamburger. But at the same time, they need to understand how those posts that they make relate to the business, creating an overall picture of what that business is doing online. And whether it's a group, I know some of you are representing different groups, or you're representing yourself, or you're representing a greater business at large, it really doesn't matter. The person that you hire needs to be able to create a picture and give an overall, using Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube as tools. They need to get that overall business message out to the public. So that's how they get it. They understand the fundamentals, and they understand that the business has goals, and you need to make those two meet in the middle. Now, from a business perspective, one of the main things where businesses don't get it is because they think that social media is an advertising, a place to just do advertising. And I guess social media is kind of a misnomer in that sense, because when you buy media, you're generally buying TV ads and radio, newspaper ads, but social media is really more about the networking. You know, it's more about that two-way dialogue. It's about a back and forth. And so getting it from a business perspective is knowing that when you post on your page, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere, don't just put advertising messages out there. You know, nobody really likes advertising. I mean, does anybody love when commercials comes on? We're all business people here and we're focused on business, but does anybody love when commercials come on? No, that's when you go and get something to drink. That's when you stop and go to the bathroom. So from a business perspective, just know it's not just about advertising. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Now, there are a couple of competing dynamics that are going on here, because from a person's perspective, they want to just have value added to their lives from social media. You know, from the average person, when I get on Facebook, when I get on Twitter, I want to smile, I want to laugh. Sometimes I want to cry. You know, I want to find out some information about what's going on in different places of the world and be informed and be able to feel people's pain and know that I can do something to help that. You know, but all of those different things add value to my life. So I'm over here, I'm a regular person, I just want things coming inward to me that are creating value in my life, and if I get it, then I'm sharing things with other people that will create value in their life. Now from a business perspective, on the other hand, over here, what does that business want at the end of the day? They only want to get involved in social media because there's some economic value that's going to come out of it. You know, and that can be, it doesn't have to just be money, but it can be saving time. It can be resources that save you energy. It can be generating new customers. It could be building relationships with your current customers. But at the end of the day, if the things that you're doing aren't reaching those ultimate business goals that you have, then there's no reason for you to be involved in social media. So you need to make sure from a business perspective that you're getting the economic value out of it. So at least we're meeting in the middle at value. And if there's anything that I have to say in terms of getting it, is to know that everything that you do should be valuable in some sense. Whether you're using it from a personal perspective, whether you're using it from a personal business perspective, which is kind of halfway in the middle, that's when you're not necessarily representing a business, you're yourself, but on social media, you're talking about business things. You know, I'm Martin Smith, and I'm talking about social media. That's me as a person. That's not me representing ASI Worldwide, the company, but I still need to provide some value, or else why am I there? All right. So I was talking to my girlfriend yesterday after a talk that I gave early, and she said, there's a disconnect in here. I just don't kind of understand, because as many times as we've talked about social media, and you talk to me about it, and you talk about it from a business perspective, I just don't understand, because every time I get on Facebook, I really just want to connect with friends and family and talk about things that I like, talk about things that I enjoy, you know, share different things with people. But then you talk about it from a business perspective, and I just don't get that, because I don't ever really want to interact with businesses in that light. I don't really want to go on social media. I might Google something, find out, I might go on a store, go to their website, but I don't see myself really wanting to talk with businesses about the stuff that they care about. And so there's a disconnect, and I feel like things are on opposite sides. And I was like, no, there's not a disconnect. And she said, yes, there is a disconnect. And then I'm like, no, there's not. And so the reason that I said that and how we came together is because the average business tries to reach people by doing business-like things. But really, to understand social media is to know that people are there because of what they want to do. So you need to figure out how you can fit your message into some things that they enjoy. You know, you need to deliver that value by doing things that people are already interested in. So if they're involved in groups online, then how can you as a business person get involved in that group because you want to reach those people? All right, at this point up till now, I've been talking in kind of hypotheticals, and we haven't really touched on any real examples, but we know that everybody at the end of the day wants value. So let's get into a real life example. I don't know why I came up with the idea to talk about raisins, but it came into my head. And so we're going to talk about raisins. Now, I'm a raisin company. You know, I have the best raisins around, and I want to market those raisins, so I'm going to get involved in social media. Now, I could jump on Facebook and post, just got a new crop of raisins. These raisins are wonderful this year. Raisins are really pouring in, 15% off on raisins. Anybody want raisins out there? And that's what a lot of people do on social media. Every post they make from a business perspective is an advertising message. But like I said earlier, nobody really likes advertising messages. So if I think a little bit, I have to come to an idea of how can I take my advertising message of wanting to promote raisins and put it into something that's useful and valuable for the people that will receive those messages. So instead of just broadcasting messages, what if I decided to create a community where people share recipes that use raisins? Now, every one of those recipes that goes out is promoting buying raisins. But at the same time, it's very valuable because if I'm a person who likes raisins, maybe I want an oatmeal raisin cookie recipe. And now if this company can share recipes that use raisins and then the community can vote, how much more valuable is it to have an oatmeal raisin cookie recipe that 5,000 people have voted on, and I saw that it got an average of 4.5 stars. And I can see comments. My families loved the oatmeal raisin cookies. They were phenomenal. And we only use such and such brand raisins. You know, that's just so much more valuable, and you're utilizing the community and you're adding value to that community rather than just broadcasting your message. And you can have thousands of recipes, and each one of them is an advertisement for your business. So I encourage you to think about ways to wrap your message in value. Now, I have an envelope here that I want to kind of hand out to the group, and nobody open this until everybody gets one, but we're going to open that in just a second, and I'm going to talk about one more principle before we open those envelopes, because that's a message that I want to get to you, but I just want us all to kind of receive it at the same time. The principle is called the 80-20 principle. And that's a ratio that you can use for how much you should just be providing general value and how much of the advertising you can do. Now, 80% of the time, at least, you should try to just provide valuable content. Not selling anybody anything, not really trying to get them to do what you want them to do, but just doing things that will be valuable to them. 80% of the time you can do that. And then once you establish that relationship, that trust and that rapport, then 20% of the time you can send out those advertising messages, because people do want to hear from you. Don't get me wrong. When people like you on Facebook or follow you on Twitter, it's because they want to know about your business. They really do care. But if you want to engage them and have a dialogue that goes on a regular basis for weeks and months and years, you really need to be providing value. You can't just advertise, because nobody likes a commercial all of the time. So once you get that 80-20 principle down, you'll have a nice balance in your community. And nothing is a hard and fast rule. You may be able to advertise more, and maybe your advertising works for some people. I often use Nike as an example. There are lots of shoe collectors who just, the main thing they want to know is, when is the new shoe releasing, so that I can go to the store and buy it. So that advertising message is actually valuable content for them, because every time a new shoe comes out, I want to know. So they can just say, new shoe coming out, and send me pictures of it, and that's value for me. So now everybody, let's open those envelopes. Okay, so. Okay, I want all the $5 bills back. Yeah, give me all the money back. No, I don't want it back. That's, I would say lunch on me, but it's kind of rough. Maybe that's a gallon of gas on me at this point. Thanks for coming, so put some gas in your tank. But all right, the point that I'm trying to get across there is how much more exciting was getting my business card, the message that I wanted to get to you. I hope that you guys will contact me if you have social media needs, but how much more exciting was it to get when I wrapped it in something that was valuable to you, something of interest to you. So make sure when you're putting social media messages out there, you're wrapping them in some value, and not just a straight advertisement.